And may I now please request Shri Varun Jindal ji, Managing Director, Dev Energy, to give presentation on CFB gasification for small-scale projects, including DRI.
So, good morning, everybody. I'd like to start with the folded hand gratitude and thank to the representation of Government of India on this stage. Why I do it? Just a small incident. When I was finishing my engineering, the whole class goes to US, right? And some of us stayed. And so the basic hostel talk was that only a country where government and business talk to each other, there is progress. And it's been, 23, 24 years, and I am delighted that today a person like me has been invited by Coal Ministry to speak on something which is my passion and life. And we are talking about it as if that it is part of our nation building, right? So it's an immense proud, right? So thank you. Thank you. So what am I talking about? As Sir has said that, Coal India and Ministry of Coal is here to help on coal, on land, and on finance, right? So what is left? It's technology. Now, technology is what we can bring in, technology providers in the country, and there are three elements to it. One, as it was mentioned that China is way ahead of us. So I believe that, rather than inventing the wheel, we can learn from them and we can adopt the technologies. Yes, there are challenges of ash, but they are solvable through a demonstration plant, commercial scale. Now, which is the easiest product which we can generate out of coal gas? It's DRI. Why I say that is because, you don't need to find buyer for steel. It's a readily sellable product. You don't need to think about the DRI island. Why? Because it's running, JSPL is running, and also JSW pen plant is running on HYL. So you have both the technology provider plants running in India from almost a decade. So that is a proven technology. And they know, both these technology providers know specifically what kind of syngas you need. So the only thing to provide is that from our coal, can we give that gas? That's it. So the viability gap funding is in, and the technology unknown is to be covered only in that gasification island. Rest, whoever the investor is can take care of it, right? So our role is only about that. So for me, it is the lowest hanging fruit. That's why I wish to just browse through what we have done about coal gasification for specifically gas-based DRI. This is what we are. We are in business from last 20 years. We have done more than 300 projects. All of them are fuel, what you call producer gas. This is air-fed gasification. And similar discussion like we are doing today, we did in 2003 for that kind of projects, right? With UNDP and Ministry of Steel and Coal. Now, 20 years, we are talking of this. We have done a lot of projects in fuel-based market. And this is a list of India's first. So every time you touch the edge of technology, you do something which is to be new, and then hundreds of plants will follow. So I'm sure if we do this one, then there will be similar hundreds of plants, because each of these categories have sold more than 50, 60 plants. So this has been the journey for gasification in India. You start with a crude single-stage gasifier, then we went to double-stage hot gasifier, then double-stage cold and clean gasifiers, and now we are talking of circulating fluidized bed gasification. This is the technology maturity. Now, why CFB? One, it needs to be tailored to Indian ash. Second, it has to use fines. Third, it has to operate at medium pressure. Now, all the technologies other than CFB which are available in the market are very high pressure, and with pressure, the capex goes up. So, when we have to keep it for steel industry, you have to keep around 14 bar pressure, and we have to take care of environment. So for Indian coal, why is fluidized bed suitable? Because as it was mentioned, entrained bed, there is a restriction of ash in the coal, and fixed bed, the feed is a problem. You need to size it, and the fines will be residue. So this is what was faced by JSPL, and that's why those plants could not be replicated. And second is the capex. all the money you spend, the product need to pay for it. And if the product is market-based, and you can import whatever products SDA Cap presentation has mentioned, all of them are internationally traded. So price is governed by what is the landed CIF cost of that product, whether it is methanol, olefins, or anything, right? SNG, NG, sir, is at market price, right? So any project has to be at market price to make it viable. We cannot subsidize it. We can subsidize maybe one, but we cannot do 50 subsidies. So everything has to be a market driven. And therefore, the technology has to be such that it can be easily replicated in multiple of plants. So CFB is a proven technology in China. Currently, the plants are running at around 20 to 17% coal. But one plant, Yima plant, pre-COVID operated at 37% coal. It was designed at that and it operated at that. But current coal economics in China, the cost availability of coal is better for low ash, so they're running on that. And these plants are 24/7, 365, easily startable, easily turned down. All the technical parameters which you require for these plants are very, very stable. And they are operating at medium pressure, which is, we call it from 10 bar to 15 bar. Why am I mentioning pressure is because when you want to indigenize any project, you will need to make most of the vessels and most of the core equipment in India. Now, when you want to do that, as the pressure goes up, so will the difficulty of manufacturing these plants, and therefore your dependence on specific technology providers or fabricators or manufacturers. Whereas when you go down, it's market price and market open. There are hundreds of people who can build those once you have proven drawings and technology. Both the technologies, Midrex and HYL, which are proven worldwide. There is another one which is Iranians. And why I'm mentioning Iranian is they have developed their own PRED, they call it, Persian reduction, without support of any one of them. So if they can do it, I think we as a nation can also do it. So if we get a chance to do it, probably in a few years we'll be having a third column here of some Indian technology provider being able to do the DRI reduction of iron ore pellets. So this is a general layout of what the plant will look like. Basically, you produce raw coal gas, and then for DRI production, you need a particular ratio of H2 to CO. Therefore, you add a CO shift, and then you remove CO2 and H2S to clean the gas. Now, what in the last 6 months, and sir, thanks to the push from last promotion meetings, both the technology providers gave us realistic numbers of CO2 and H2S, which in JSPL plant case were abnormally high. Now they have reduced their requirement to a reasonable number, and therefore both these islands, CO2 shift and the removal of H2S in CO2, have become reasonable. Just to give you an explanation, that multi-stage CO shift has become a single stage, and the temperatures have become reasonable. There is no cryogenic temperatures. And for H2S removal, they have come to a decent 3-4 ppm sort of level, which can be done through a normal single tower. Same for CO2 removal. So they are saying that if the CO2 is 3.5%, still they will take it. The DRI clean will be slightly derated. But then if you balance out the capex, this becomes a really doable project. And we are at a very advanced stage with the first investor who are willing to participate, and I've invited them here today, so that if there is money on the table, there is land on the table, there is coal on the table, and technology on the table, then this can be fastest implemented, probably in 36 months, or will be up with the production, right? Because the bigger plants will take a lot of time to come up, right? And once you have a CFB plant generating a gas which can be tested clearly, demonstrated that this is done, then all other products and all other things can be done very easily, right? So we are talking of around 0.6 to 0.8 million ton steel plant based on this, right? These are some of the photos of running plants, and thanks to the lot of trust Piyush ji has showed, we went to China, and 2 days he traveled to unaccessible places to see these plants, so that first-hand somebody from this side of the table has seen those plants. You know, talking about China is very different. Showing a government of India official these plants was absolutely a challenge. So these are the plants which the technology provider has done. So they are all working. We can discuss with them of the details. Right. So one last factor of advantages, both the technology provider for the DRI and for gasification have agreed to 60% indigenization. They're saying that only core equipment can be sourced from them, and both have agreed to keep the license or the design component to almost minimum for the first project. Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Project management consultant now.
So I will always be a technology provider.
He's like private sector EAL.
Well, a big round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for those insights.